Techno update. Subscribe now.
Vodafone Smart Ultra 7 review. In terms of raw specs, not a lot's actually changed since last year's model, as the Ultra 7 still has a 5.5-in, 1920 by 1080 resolution display, a 13-megapixel camera and 16GB of onboard storage. Instead, the main differences are a new processor and an all-new design. Its rivals, however, have done anything but stand still over the last 12 months, as the new Moto G4 also has a large 5.5-in Full HD display this year as well as a new and improved chipset. The Smart Ultra 7's got its work cut out for it then, but it still does a pretty good job at giving it the Moto G4 a run for its money, at least when it comes to overall speed. Performance. This time, Vodafone's gone with an octa-core 2.0 GHz MediaTek MT6755 processor, which is paired with 2 GB of RAM. In terms of speed, it's not far behind the Moto G4's Snapdragon 617 chip, as the Smart Ultra 7 scored 784 in Geekbench 3's single-core test and 2927 in the multi-core test, the former just edging in front of the Moto G4's result of 717. Battery life. However, it may have the speed to shoot past other budget handsets, but its stamina is decidedly lacking, as its 2,960 mAh battery only managed 9 hours 55 minutes in our continuous video playback test with the screen brightness set to our usual measurement of 170 CD/M2. This is pretty underwhelming even for a sub-pound 150 phone, as even the 3rd-gen Moto G managed over 11 hours under the same conditions. It pales against the Moto G4's battery life as well, which lasted an impressive 13 hours 39 minutes. Display. Once past the Ultra Smart 7 speed, everything starts to go a bit downhill, as its 5.5-in, 1920 by 1080 resolution display was also pretty poor. It's an IPS panel, but its overly warm color cast really spoils its overall appearance. It does, admittedly, have a picture mode setting in the display options that lets you tweak the color tuning, but the standard and vivid presets looked even worse and I struggled to find a decent balance with the customizable user profile as well. Camera. I wasn't overly impressed by its 13-megapixel camera, either, as nearly all my test shots had a rather pinkish tinge to them, particularly when it came to rendering orange brickwork. Outdoor shots were also rather dark for my liking, and it struggled with fine detail. Instead, bricks merged into a homogeneous mass and subtler patches of color almost looked like they'd been smeared across the frame. HDR, admittedly, helped brighten some of our images, but the effect is quite dramatic and doesn't always make pictures look completely natural. Conclusion. It's a shame, really, as I would have been willing to put up with the Smart Ultra 7's off-color screen had its camera been better. Ultimately, though, the Smart Ultra 7 has just one too many flaws to make it a viable budget contender to the mighty Moto G4. Add in a rather underwhelming battery life and the gap widens even further.